LeBron James recently on a podcast with the Kelsey brothers talked about a time where he faced Michael Jordan and several other NBA players during the summertime. This has made headlines with what he said, so I'm going to read out the quote, what he said on this podcast. That has generated a lot of buzz the last few days. I was on the court with Michael Jordan, Antoine Walker, Penny Hardaway, Ron Artest, Michael Finley, all these guys, James said. And then Travis Kelce asked him who guarded him, and his response was boldly, nobody. I was unguardable. So I'll repeat again. He said, nobody. I was unguardable. Then he responded by saying, when I finally got out there, I was like, I'm busting ass. Man, I was nervous as hell being out there with MJ and the rest of those guys. But I was like, I'm about to go crazy. And I did. So this has got a lot of buzz. How do I feel about this? Well, first, I'm going to just say what The Rock has always said, the legendary Rock, which is, it does not matter. It seriously does not matter if he did bust their asses, in my eyes. Because it still doesn't change the narrative, at least for most people still, that he's not the GOAT. I know this is another chance for LeBron to embellish his legacy as much as he can and to put Michael Jordan down to build himself up. That's what he's been doing for the last, 10, 12 years when he started pushing the GOAT narrative on all of us that he's the GOAT. I think when he really pushed it was 2016 when he started saying he's chasing like the ghost of Jordan, I believe, or just he has nothing else to chase. I forgot what he said, but we all knew what he was implying, that he was the GOAT and now he's like the greatest of all time, all that other nonsense. So this is just another typical jab. And I bet you some embellishment. Granted, I've heard people dig up some old quotes from Ron Artest, what he said back in 2010 about working out, being in that workout against a young LeBron James, and saying that LeBron James did cook them and he schooled them. So he could be telling the truth, to be honest. He could be telling the truth because these guys were doing a workout. They may have been tired. That's a possibility. Or, they say have the scouting report on LeBron. LeBron was really unknown. Granted, I'm sure they knew about the buzz this guy was generating to be able to participate in the workout, but some of them might not have taken him that seriously because he wasn't an NBA pro yet. That's a possibility. So he could have taken them off guard. That happens a lot, just even in the streets, like when you're playing pickup game. If someone's never seen you play, they may underestimate you based on, how you look or just how you appear, and then suddenly they get taken to school. So it happens all the time on every level. This could be no different. We don't know what could have happened afterwards, after he did take them to school, if they had a rematch and if they busted his ass. We don't know if that occurred. And also at that time, Michael Jordan was an old man. By basketball standards, he was an old man. This was like summer of 2001, I believe. And he would have been at that time 38 years old, I think. Summer of 2001, he was like 38 years old. So yeah, he was an old man by then, just when it comes to basketball standards. And it would show up later on that year when he would play for the Washington Wizards that he was definitely old. You would see in the games that he didn't have his jumping ability anymore. He didn't have his quickness anymore. He had to rely solely on fundamentals. So a old Michael Jordan that doesn't really have his athleticism anymore against a very young LeBron James that has his athleticism and his quickness, it's a possibility it could have happened. I don't rule it out, but it's not like some amazing, I would say, achievement to boast that you whooped up on an old Michael Jordan if it did happen. Like that's not like some great accomplishment, like because you were not facing him when he was still a legit NBA superstar. So I'm not amazed by it. I'm sure there's plenty of stories where a young kid who's like some top prospect or some prodigy whoops up on a pro who's like past his prime. Like we've seen this, we've seen this with Jake Paul when he fights these over the hill fighters and he wins because they're way past his prime and he has his youth factor on his side. So I'm not amazed by it. And I don't really know how true this is because we haven't heard anyone speak out to confirm or deny it. So we don't know, to be honest. And like I said, even if it wasn't true, it doesn't change the narrative in my eyes about Jordan being the GOAT when it comes compared to LeBron. So that's all I have to really say about this.